Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I
We're all good?
can.
All right, super. Do we have some people in already?
We do.
Oh, super. Can you ask them where they're all from?
Oh, sure, in the chat thing.
In the chat. Yeah. Hello, where are you all from? Hello, everyone. I guess you can hear us. Yeah, could you put into the chat, and you can see this is what we look like. Here you go. I'm Anthony. Hi. And that's Katie over there.
Hi.
And I'm the kind of co-founder, CEO and stuff, and built the thing. And Katie is the chief. Is the chief operating manager, and has a finger in all the pies. So anyway, what do you think, Katie? Is that
Great.
where are they from?
So looks like we have San Ramon, California coming in.
California. All right.
All I got so far.
Hello, I'm in California too. I'm in Los Angeles. Where in California are you? Can you put into those names?
San Ramon.
San Ramon. All right. Yeah, cool.
I have no idea where that is.
Yeah, it's another saint. There are lots of San everythings. San Francisco.
It's true.
All right. Well,
Magnolia, Texas. Some Northern
Texas.
California.
Hello.
Oh, that's where San Ramon's in Northern California.
Northern California.
Thanks, Dolores.
Yeah, there we go. Hello. Okay, so let's swap out our faces for what you're here for. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a webinar talking about the new interface that we have put together. And also, I'm going to be talking through another piece of kind of real plans that we're going to be putting out there in the next few days. First of all, I hope that you are all safe and finding life in this era of the pandemic to be, you're able to survive it with whatever changes you're having to institute and priorities you're having to make. I have my children in the house full time, which has been a shift in pace, and they're off schooling and doing Zooms and all this kind of stuff. But it requires more time to acknowledge their presence and hang out and everything else. I'm playing a lot more basketball in the backyard, so that's kind of good for my 13-year-old. And so anyway, for real plans, we, as things kind of went down over the last few weeks, we have been really wanting to support the community as much as we can, especially as so many people are now at home and finding themselves in a position where they might be cooking more than usual. And there's also the question of, what we actually do as a meal planner. And, we suggest recipes based on a schedule and based on your dietary requirements, and put it on a plan, and then create a shopping list. And that shopping list, then you would go to the store and go and get what you can. But getting what you can, I think, is the interesting part, because really, in quite a lot of stores around the country, you can't always get exactly what you're used to getting. And so I'm going to be addressing that as the second part of the call. But the first part of the call is to talk about this very exciting development that we've put together. This was what we were working on anyway over the last few weeks. And it basically looks like this. So this is now the meal planner, where you have what we used to term as the recipe box, which is still available over here, and the meal planner all in one place. And we've also shifted the days around. So now days are running across the page as opposed to down the page, which we liked in our kind of design that we changed around. And here this is a meal plan that's already been set up based on your diet and your schedule that you gave us. And you can, look at that, and you can even click on minimize here, and then you can go, look at all those nice pictures. And you can start seeing, what it looks like in terms of pictures. These are leftovers, by the way. So this is kind of an interesting thing where you have dinners here and leftovers the next day that you can eat. And what we're doing here is we're showing that you make double over here and then you can eat it the following day. So we don't give pictures, we leave these and also have this kind of yellow recycle thing icon to show you what a leftover looks like. Leftovers are so important when it comes to cooking from home. So that's one way of looking at things. And then you click on this thing and the recipe comes back again. But let's say this is not to your liking. This is not exactly how you want to meal plan this week. You can see this eraser here. You can clear the planner. And I can just click on this thing, confirm, and now I have cleared my plan out. And from here, I'm then able to make a bunch of decisions. And it's kind of like a game. I can go ahead and I can either go, I have a particular ingredient in my, let's put in carrot. I always use chicken. I'm going to change it up because I'm feeling that's the mood. And then here you are. Then you have lots of different recipes that can use up your carrots. And there's another kind of, there's all kinds of interesting filters that you can use here, such as taking a course here, like I want to have a look at just entrees. So I'm not wanting to have a look at, let's say I'm not wanting to have a look at soups. How can I fit my carrot in one of these entrees? Or you can go back and you can, do soups. That's one way of looking at things. We can click on number of ingredients. You can say, okay, well, show me the recipes that have the least number of ingredients to kind of use things up. So that's another way of doing things. But now this carrot ginger soup, I can attest, I'm going to put my I can attest to just how good this carrot ginger soup is. My passion is for having, or used to be before the pandemic, to have like really fun shows at my house. I used to ask my musician friends to come along, and my whole village used to come in and we used to have a hoedown. And I made a massive carrot ginger soup, and every single time people would go, wow, how did you make that? And I go, it's a Real Plans recipe, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to do that. There's my carrot ginger soup. I'm going to stick that in there like that. So that's a good one. Katie, what's your favorite dish in Real Plans?
I actually like the Fiesta enchiladas.
I knew you were going to say that. That was a bit of a leading question.
I'm consistent.
Fiesta enchiladas. And you can see, it comes up, if there's a recipe that has kind of part of the name in it, it'll come up and you can just do it like that. So I can just move over here. And you notice how I've got this My Diet tag on? This is basically saying only show me recipes that I can eat within whatever diet that I've set up in the system. So let's say I'm going to have that for dinner later in the week. So you can click also on a recipe like that and you can say, ooh, here are some things that you can have it. Now, Katie's from Texas. So Katie, how would you eat your Fiesta enchiladas?
With refried beans.
Refried beans. See, I would have just gone for the first pick here, but obviously I am not quite as educated as you are in terms of enchiladas. So there we go. There's enchiladas and refried beans. And of course, the objective, having done this, is to then go, all right, I want to view my shopping list. And so here we go. There's a shopping list. And here it'll give you all the things that you need to do the various things that you have in your recipe. And the plan really with Real Plans is to put things onto the plan, and then having set it up, go through here and click off things that you have in your shopping list. So, or you can have Instacart, order stuff. But we're finding more and more, and I'm going to come back here to the planner. We're finding more and more that we need to really think through and plan ahead in terms of what kind of meals you can make and go and have for a long time. So there's a really great tag in here called Freezable Meals in here. And you can say, okay, show me all the freezable meals. And then you can look at it this way. And you can say, all right, I just really want some entrees here, and I want to kind of figure out what I can stick in my freezer. And you can flick through the pages. Shepherd's pie with lamb, you can swap that out for beef. or for pork. And you can go through this list of recipes and come up with things that you can then, batch cook and then put into your freezer, and bring it out over, 2 or 3 weeks. If you're wanting to minimize social contact and not go to the store as often, you're just wanting to kind of gather ingredients into your kitchen. So this is really it. This is the main thing I wanted to show you, was this very nice kind of, it feels like a game much more now. Before we had two separate screens. And of course, if you wanted to go to Recipe Box over here, and you do want to have that large, luxurious look at things, you can totally do that. And have a look at, if I wanted to, let's say I want to see 32 pictures all at once, you can do that. And then you can go onto the next page, and it'll, then show the next page. And I'm testing a bug that we had live in front of a bunch of people, which is pretty brave. It wasn't sticking at 32, but it is now. So that's fun. And you can go through here, and this is, you can really have a good look at the pictures and see all these beautiful pictures that we took of various dishes. And what's funny is, because we've taken the majority of these pictures, I remember the taste of each dish as we were, because as we were testing them. And so kind of as I'm looking through this picture, it's mouth-watering to me, because I'm going, oh, I remember that one. I remember that one. Oh, that's that dish, and stuff like that. So let's head back again here.
One thing I wanted to cover real quick is if you can talk about those dots that are on each of the days, so we can see some of the options that are a little bit hidden, but probably the really cool part.
Yeah, so you can just click on any meal here, and you have a bunch of options to do. So here, let's say I've got these two here, and I wanted to move the meal. Let's say I wanted to move it over to the 4th, so I'm going to put it to the next day, and I'll have it for dinner. I can move the meal over like that, and then off it goes to the Saturday over there. The other thing I can do is that the long-term subscribers will know that we have this kind of recipe roulette type thing, and that's another way of browsing through recipes, which is also pretty good. Your Fiesta enchiladas came up. It must have known that we were talking about it. But you basically can put anything you like in here as a search term, and it'll start finding recipes in here that are relevant to the search term, and it will start kind of going through, and you can go through and find stuff. This actually is interesting. This is an imported recipe that anything that you import yourself, you can go to the recipe box and click import, and you can import recipes. We tend to put those at the beginning of the search because those are important to you, because you brought them in. These pork medallions or peaches. If I don't have any peaches, I'm using apples. This is a great dish as well, and goes really well. I do like my, almost burger but not type dish. So that's another way of kind of going in there. So you can add a recipe. You can add notes. If you're wanting to remind yourself about something. I normally put things about being outside of the house. Read a new book. It's probably the e-quarantine version of that. And then you can obviously now modify the note. You can remove whole meals as well if you wanted to do that. You can copy meals too. So let's say you wanted to copy that ginger soup to the next week. You can do that too. You can actually copy whole meal plans if you wanted as well. So there's just an entire bunch of functionality in here. That's gone really deep. Oh, leftovers is an interesting one. Here you can add a leftover and say, oh, I'll add to the carrot soup like that, and just move it like that. And now you're making double. If you want to make triple, another way of doing that, not just kind of going here and putting add leftover. Let's say you're very into the carrot ginger soup. You're going to eat it 3 nights in a row. You can just drag the soup like that and say leftovers, and that will do that as well. So the question there was, do you want to move, or do you want to make a leftover? So that's another thing. Katie, is there anything else that I'm missing here before I talk about anything else?
No, but we had a quick question, so I wanted to pass that along to you.
Yep.
Chelsea says that she was using the app and trying to do the leftovers function. Does it only work on a computer right now?
What you mean, dragging the recipe down, or having leftovers at all?
I would say probably adding them.
Adding them. Do you know what? I don't know. Let me go and test it right now. And also it'd be a good idea, because then everybody can see what the mobile app looks like here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to share my screen right now, which would be rather fun. There it is. That's my phone. And this here is Real Plans on a thing. So if I get that grilled chicken, I move that over there like this. It says, do you want to move or create a leftover? So I can just create leftover like that. Ta-da! There we go. That answers your question. Anything else, Katie, before I move on?
No. Looks like that was exactly what Chelsea was looking for.
All right, awesome. Cool, Chelsea. Thank you for reminding me that we did that one. Okay, so there's something else I want to talk about, and it's to do with something that we're launching in the next few days. And every time that I have shown this to people, they've got very excited. So we have a long list of change requests that we have in, we use a tool called Trello. And every day it's a project management tool. And every time that we come up with a good idea, or one of you say, wouldn't it be great if, and that's basically how we've built Real Plans, we put it on a list of change requests. And there was one that went straight to the top because of what was going on with the stores. It's called My Pantry. And basically what we're doing is we're saying, okay, wouldn't it, rather than thinking about putting, automated recipes on, or you putting recipes on to the planner and then getting a shopping list and then going to the shops and then going, oh, they're all out of ginger. How am I going to make that carrot ginger soup? Instead, we provide you with a screen that says, well, what do you have in your kitchen and in your pantry? And that would then mean that we could then give you recipes that you can already make based on what you have in there. Now that's kind of one level of it. So that's kind of cool already. And I'll show you this screen here, which is basically the screen that we're about to be launching. So it's kind of in here, you see? So you go in here and you have your...
It's a work in progress.
Oh yeah, work in progress. Oh yeah, you see, look, we're even like deciding what to have over here. I think we should have the 14. Katie and I debating this morning about how we should do this. I mean, you're seeing like the inside scoop right here. This is like rough and ready. So thinking, and believe it or not, this is going to come out next week or so. So, you click on your bakery and you say, I've got bread. Now, what's interesting about that then is that we've gone through all of our recipes and we've thought, what is the minimum viable ingredients that you need to make something? So let's go live and have a look at this carrot ginger soup, which now seems to be the star of the show today. Now, carrot ginger soup is made up of all of these ingredients. Now, if you do all these ingredients, and I have followed them faithfully, although I haven't always put dried mint in there, but I've done everything else, top dollar, wonderful carrot soup. However, what do you actually need to make this work? Well, you need carrots, you need ginger, and you need some stock. From that, you can make a carrot soup. Everything else is kind of gravy. Yes, it will change the taste and even the texture if you don't have the cashews, because that's more of a thickening agent. But you can still make this carrot ginger soup with 3 ingredients, and then you can go into your pantry and you can go and figure out what it is that you can play around with. But this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to imagine that your grandmother, your mother, has walked into the house and she's just gone, all right, what's in the fridge? And she opens up the fridge and she looks inside and she goes, oh, carrots. Oh, and there's some ginger on the windowsill. Boom. Do you have any stock? Okay, you have stock. Great. I'll make you a soup. Boom, 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 boom. Makes a soup. So we're looking at that. So we've gone through and figured out what's the, what the mandatory ingredients you need for each recipe. And then you tell us whether you have stock in your pantry. And then we'll provide you then with a set of recipes that will be on point and you can already make. And then, so if that's not enough, then we're thinking, this is kind of cool. And Katie's going to be like, notice how she just shifted in her chair then, slightly uncomfortable about the fact that I'm talking about this, but it's happening. I know we can do it. Then there's going to be another button that will say, did you notice that button that said, hang on, let me show you. Want to know what to buy next? Right? So here's what we're thinking, is that we go, all right, so you've unlocked, 200 recipes because of what you've told us you've got already. But wouldn't you like to know what would be the next most important recipe, or next 4 most important ingredients, rather, to unlock, 1,000 recipes? In other words, you'll be able to make 1,000 of these recipes, and then you have a ridiculous choice again, and you can drill down. Same way you can say, I want to find a side dish, or I want to find an entree that's pork, or whatever, and we'll be able to hone down and say, these ones you can make already. So with those 4 ingredients, you're unlocking like plenty more recipes. So I'm going to build that, Katie. It's happening. And it's going to come out in the next week to 10 days is what we're saying right now. And this is how we roll. I'm sitting here going, it's happening. And then my team go, he said it's happening.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out.
and then we figure it out and make sure it happens. And then it'll be a work in progress. It will be awesome. And then we'll kind of figure out, and the other thing we're thinking is that when you go back into that screen, you'll be able to see all the recipes here. So the origin will say my pantry, and then here will be all the recipes that you can already make, and you can put those onto your plan and just go ahead and make them. But as you drag something onto the screen, then it'll ask you if you still have those ingredients in your pantry. So, we can then say, well, for future recommendations, you've already used up your whole chicken. So now that blocks again, you can't make any more chicken dishes because you just used it in the roast chicken that you just decided to make. So we're kind of excited about that, and excited because it's speaking to where everyone's at right now and how we're doing things. And my serious hope with this pandemic is that it is forcing people to spend more time at home and to cook for loved ones, and potentially to have some time to reflect on what's important in life. And I have always thought cooking is an incredibly important thing, but not just the cooking, but the aspect of giving that food that you have created and giving it to people. It's love, basically. It's love on a plate. Our logo is a bowl with steamy hearts coming out like that. It's saying love in a bowl being handed out to someone. And there's nothing like sitting around a table and sharing food, and then that turns into a conversation. I have my 9-year-old and 13-year-old, so the conversations get very... One wants to talk about politics, and the other one wants to talk about unicorns still and princesses, but that's just how it is. But you're conversing, you're communing, you're spending time with the family and talking about stuff, all with full bellies. And, I think that's a good thing. So that's our mission, to be as useful as possible and to help enable people to control their node of society and to really find communion through cooking and through sitting down with people. So if you have any other bright ideas about how we can support people, please let us know. Also, we'd love to know what you think about this new user interface that we've done, and if you're a long-time subscriber, and also what you think about the My Pantry thing, because I'm hoping this is going to be like super useful for many, many people. Even my own staff member who's working on the content this morning was saying, oh, I had a curbside drop-off, right? The groceries are getting delivered, and that I was only allowed, normally you can swap out whatever you like, but she was given, right, Katie, she was only allowed the option to like change out 4 things. And she was like, oh, if I had had my pantry with the what to buy next, I would have known what ingredients were the most important in order to be able to have the largest selection of recipes to be able to make with the same set of ingredients. So it boded well. If it's going to work for the person who's actually working on the project and all the people that I've shown it to, I hope this is going to work for you too. Katie, anything else we want to discuss, or are we good?
No, I think looks like we don't have any questions today, so we'll let everyone go enjoy their weekend and
super.
Enjoy their weekend from home, I guess. That's all I got.
That's how it's going to be. All right, Katie, thanks for joining, everybody. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and we'll be doing a lot more of these over the next few weeks. Take care.
Bye.